So my seeds have arrived. Um, this is the packet. Survival Garden Heirloom Seeds. It's basically like it's marketed as like a end of the world kind of like, if the economy gets destroyed and the world, we in post-apocalyptic world, when you make it out of your nuclear silo, your nuclear bunker after the fallout and everything, then you've got this packet of seeds and you can start replanting and stuff, so you can grow your own food or something like that. For me, it was just a convenient source of like 32 different plants, basically. A small set of seeds that I could just kind of test some things out, and it was cheap. It was like $5 for the whole packet. So that's what I went with, because there's a lot of the plants that are included were interesting to me. I mean, they've got everything from like sweet corn to pumpkins to squash to radishes and carrots, everything you can imagine, turnips, various kinds of lettuce and leafy greens, spinach, you name it, it's here. So in anticipation of the deep water culture bed, I planted 6 kinds of leafy greens. There is kale here. This is Swiss chard, and this is spinach. And this is 3 kinds of lettuce. So this was black. Let's look at the pack. I can't remember. One of them is butter crunch. The others I don't remember. We've got butter crunch lettuce, black seeded Simpsons, and ruby leaf. So this was the black seeded Simpson. This was the butter crunch, and this was the ruby leaf. I did them in kind of alphabetical order, I guess. So they're stuck in a block of what's called rock wool or stone wool. It's inorganic. It's literally made from rocks, from stones. They don't have calcium, or they're not limestone or anything like that. So they're not going to mess with the pH. They're not going to mess with the properties in the water in any way. But they just provide a good wicking substance media, I guess, for the plants to germinate in and then ultimately start growing in. Once I'm finished, these will get transplanted into one of the net pots. So I'll put the little plug into this and then drop it into there where it touches the water floating on the raft. It'll touch this water here. The wool will. The roots will grow deep into that tub. They'll be 10 inches long or so, as long as they can be once they're mature. But anyway, so those 6 will be my first deep water culture beds. I just planted them about 20 minutes ago. And I filled that. I didn't fill, but I put some water in there. That will the water will wick up into the rock wool and keep those seeds damp but not drenched, which is good for them to grow. And then once they start growing, I'll keep the lid on, at least for now. The sun plays no part in their life at this point. They're going to grow based on the energy that's coming straight out of their seed. They don't use photosynthesis for that. That's just all the raw materials they'll need to grow. But once that runs out, of course, their roots will need to pull some stuff up, and they'll use the sunlight photosynthesis to generate energy to grow. But anyway, yeah. So those 6 plants, I hopefully they'll germinate well. The lettuce seeds were tiny, and I think I got them in the seeded inside the little hole, and then I pinched the hole closed. I know they like dark. The roots don't like the light, so I pinched the little hole. Those plugs come with a little hole in the center, so you can stick your plant. But anyway, so that lid's mostly there just to stymie evaporation, so the water, I don't have to keep watering it too much. I brought it outside because it's nice and warm out. It's a little warmer than inside the house, at least. so that should aid in their germination process. I'll probably take it back in because it gets a little cooler in the evenings. But anyway, so that's the deep water culture prep. In a day or two, they should be grown up enough that I can transplant them. Maybe not a day or two, maybe closer to a week. But we'll see. It's kind of a guesswork in progress. I also planted a couple more plants in this bed. Now, I probably went a little overboard with the radishes. If you look, there's little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 24 little dudes in there. And not exactly evenly spaced. I was just kind of sticking them in as I eyeballed it. But I also just now planted these 5 other plants. I planted a bean right here, a bell pepper right here, a cucumber here, and an okra here. I might, if the radishes look like they're in the way, or if things are competing for sun real estate and whatnot, and I might just pull those radishes. I'm not terribly concerned about them. That was just like a yay, I've got nitrates in my water kind of celebration. So I went a little nuts with the seeds that I had on hand for microgreens. Radishes seemed like a good choice, little daikon radishes. But so anyway, if things aren't, if it looks like any of the plants are suffering, the first ones to go I think will be the radishes. I'll just pull them and put them on a sandwich or something, put them in a salad. But these celery seeds, I actually planted 2. They're so tiny. I was concerned that, I don't know, I was concerned they might fall too deep in the rocks. They might not germinate properly and sprout properly in this substance. I might have to, for celery, I might have to either grow it in the DWC bed or come up with some other kind of germination process, because I'm not sure that those, stayed put. But I put one here, and put one here. And so we'll see what happens with them. I'm excited to see how things go. I'm pretty novice at gardening. I've never done a whole lot of plant care in my past. It's just the aquaponics thing seemed like a lot of fun, a fun project for me. So I just dove in. But all the plant stuff is like I'm learning as I go. So a lot of experimentation, trial and error. But that's part of the fun, really. Got a little friend coming in for a drink. Nope, not interested. I was too close, I guess. I pissed him off. But anyway, so plants are growing. I'm really excited about that. I did a test, and actually my nitrate level plummeted from those radishes, I think. I can't come up with any other explanation. But it went from this like deep, dark red to, kind of a pale orange. Like there's still nitrate in the water when I test it, but not a lot. So it's interesting how 20 little radish plants might have been too much for my, or that might be at the cusp of the current level of my system. And keep in mind, I'm dumping ammonia in, keeping it at about 4 parts per million every day, or getting it up to that. The ammonia is never gone. So those guys, the bacteria always have food to eat. So anyway, I'm not upset that the nitrate level went down. In fact, I was originally concerned that I was going to have to change the water a couple more times because I was going to fill up, my nitrate levels were going to get so high that I was afraid that was going to be a problem for the fish. But if these plants are eating it all, then I guess that's fine. So, but today's Wednesday. I can tell because there's the neighbors have put their trash cans out, or you did too, but the trash cans are out, so it's Wednesday. And I think the plan is to meet up with the nieces and nephews and buy some fish on Saturday. So I'll probably dose the system with ammonia tomorrow, and then not dose it with ammonia maybe ever again, because we're going to have fish, creating the fish and fish food to generate that ammonia. So, but anyway, plants have been planted. I'm really pretty stoked with how well these radishes are doing. Like I just kind of poked in a handful of seeds here and there. I didn't know what the germination rate would be, just sticking them into these little pebbles with a little water in there, but man, they're coming up big time. I think the ones that I put in a little deep are looking a little sad. Like this guy, it looks a little wilty. He's still yellowish, so he hasn't gotten a lot of sun yet. You know, the sun will darken the leaves, but I'm afraid that some of these guys got planted a little too deep and had to grow too much before they got to the sun, and that might be problematic for them, but we'll see. It's a pretty bird. I'm not going to get you. You're okay. My fly could go away, but anyway, that's all. Go gadget plants.